Today's video mainly introduces our work to everyone. The topic of my presentation is Fairness Protection Method of Vickery Auction based on smart contract. Auction is a kind of spot trading mode in which the auction house specialized in auction business accepts the entrustment of the owner, displays the goods to be auctioned to the buyer at a specified time and place according to certain regulations and rules, so as to maximize the interest in the auction. The information asymmetry between the seller and the buyer often leads to the loss of fairness. For example, the British auction follows the principle of the one with the highest price. If the buyer colludes to bid, the final price can be reduced and the fairness to the seller will be damaged. In order to solve the problem of the information asymmetry, Professor William Vickery proposed the Vickery auction. Vickery auction can well solve the problem of information asymmetry in auction and help to improve the fairness of other sealed auction. However, there are still many fairness problems caused by auction outside the mechanism. The fairness of auction will be affected by the decrease of the final price caused by the closer bidding of the buyer. The participation of the seller in the auction will lead to a higher final price. If the seller knows the highest price and the second highest price in advance, he can bid between the two, so that the buyer has to deal at the higher price offered by seller unproposed. In order to solve the fairness problems outside the bidding mechanism mentioned above, and the need for invisible and anonymous banners, unique bids, and non-interference by sellers, as a distributed shared database technology, blockchain technology has the characters of the decentralization, fairness, and openness, which coincides with the requirements of Vickery auction. In recent years, the idea of building an auction platform on blockchain and smart contracts has been relatively mature, but the work combined with Vickery bidding rules is rarely used. At present, the challenge of Vickery auction fair proportion method based on smart contract is that there is no standardization of fairness. That is, there is no quantitative method to evaluate fairness, so it's difficult to find the entry point to maintain fairness and to quantitatively evaluate the scheme. In order to solve the above problems, this paper uses a blockchain smart contract and secure multi-party computation to implement a fairness protection method of Vickery auction. The auction platform for seller and buyer to trade is built on the blockchain, and the auction process is automatically executed through the smart contract to protect the buyer's bidding privacy and ensure that the buyer has only one bid. Secure multi-party computation is used to ensure the privacy of the buyer's bid and exclude the seller's bid, which provides a fair solution for practical application of Vickery auction. We can summarize the highlights of the scheme as follows. First, a fairness protection method of Vickery auction based on smart contract is proposed, which realizes the fair Vickery auction through invisible banners only bid collection and non-interference final price privacy calculation. Then, a fairness evaluation model or bidding mechanism is constructed to verify the good fairness performance of our method and enrich the research perspective of bidding evaluation model. The fairness of our method is at least 2.5 times better than that of SAP scheme, ASAS scheme in both mean standard deviation method and Delphi method. Our method consists of two stages. Invisible banners only bid collection and non-interference final price privacy calculation, as shown in the figure. In the process of online auction, in order to prevent the banner from bidding collusion to reduce the final price and damage the fairness of the seller, it's necessary to make the banner invisible. On the other hand, the invisibility of the bid also guarantees the fairness of the banner and shields the seller to prevent the seller from manipulating. The following gives the basic definition of invisible or banner only bid and non-interference of the seller as the focus of the method proposed in this paper. The restraints of the seller and the banner will be formalized to facilitate quantification of the subsequent evaluation model. According to definition 1, the invisible bidding process of the banner can avoid the banner's conclusion because they can't see others bid. Invisible principle also benefits the banner, shielding the seller from participating in the auction. But if we want to eliminate the manipulation of the bidding process caused by the banner's multi-price bidding, we need to meet the formal definition of the only bid. According to the definition 2, it can be seen that the only bid principle can avoid the banner manipulating the final price through multi-price bidding and release the fairness of the auction. Definition 1 and definition 2 restrict the option for the banner's fairness, and the formal definition 3 gives the definition of non-interference as the restraint on the seller's option. According to the definition 3, non-interference of the seller principle can avoid the seller's participation in bidding, eliminated the hidden danger of the seller's price raising, and ensure the fairness of the banner's bidding. This part may introduce the first part of Vickery auction. fair protection method based on smart contract. Invisible binary Unicode bit collection, which is divided into two parts. Building the model and architecture diagram of blockchain auction platform, and designing the algorithm to cause smart contract to collect bits. The blockchain auction platform is the basis for the buyer and the seller to conduct node computation, data transmission, on-chain interaction, and information synchronization. It can remove the dependence of bidding activities on the trusted third party, and transfer the trust of institutions to the trust of rules. The contrast of blockchain auction platform can realize the network node communication model as shown in the left figure. The right figure shows that the architecture of the blockchain auction platform. The blockchain auction platform is composed of the interface layer, manage layer, code layer, and basic layer. The interface layer is responsible for controlling external acts. The manage layer does not authentication and independent authorization. The code layer computes the transaction and block authentication, and carries out consistent identity synchronization. The basis layer provides a cryptographic algorithm library and local data storage. The key of the fairness protection of Vickery auction based on smart contract is whether the mechanism of collecting binary bid can achieve fairness. Using the characters of automatic execution and non-interference of smart contract, an invisible binary only bid collection auction algorithm is designed as algorithm 1. According to the algorithm, the smart contract will judge the calling address. If the contract owner offers bid, the bid will be returned to realize the fairness of excluding the seller to raise the price. 3 bidding prices are always stored in the smart contract, and the result of the Vickery auction are adjusted according to the size relationship between them. Algorithm 1 satisfies both the binary's invisibility and the only bid. From the definition 1 and the definition 2, we can see that it satisfies the restraint on the fair option of the bidder. The second stage is non-interference final price privacy calculation, including automatic setting of bidding parameters and privacy calculation of final price, as shown in the figure. The two-part secure computing scheme is extended to 3 parts, which can be used as the final privacy computing principle in the paper. Because the current highest bid and the second highest bid need to be saved in the smart contract and compared with the new bid generated by calling the contract. only 3 paths need to compute the size. We can get the 3-path privacy calculation principle of the final price, which satisfies the non-interface of the seller. In the study of the evaluation index of auction mechanism is the cornerstone of the establishment of evaluation to formulate the measurement standard according to the actual demand. Considering the shortcomings of the related work listed in Section 2, this paper chose privacy protection and bidding income as the evaluation content of the objective function to solve the problem of the seller and buyer's operation violation. This section formulates the quantitative fairness evaluation model of bidding mechanism and selects the relevant bidding mechanism to evaluate and compare with the similar method. The objective function FA of fairness evaluation of bidding mechanism is as follows. According to the method and model introduced in the paper, Vickery auction based on smart contract is contracted as follows. A full-node permissioned blockchain is built on Ubuntu 16.04 system as a data computation platform for bidding. One of the nodes is used as the seller to write the bidding smart contract in Solidity language and deploy it to the console through such compilation. Now we use the fairness evaluation model to calculate the FA of the method and the comparison method SAP and ASAS. By adjusting the values of alpha and beta, we can balance the model's emphasis of protection and bidding income. Experimental results show that the proposed method has similar fairness performance with AP scheme and ASAS scheme in standard deviation method, but in mean standard deviation method and Delphi method, the fairness performance of our method is improved by 2.9 to 5.7 times for SAP scheme and 2.6 to 4.3 times for SAS scheme. We implement the fair protection method of Vickery auction based on smart contracts and define the invisibility of the buyer, the unique bidding, and the non-interference of the seller. That's all. Thanks for listening.